Good evening, everyone. Welcome to FGM eCast. We are back with ANZCAR Truck Racing on a Monday night. It is Monday night. I'm back with Carl Withy. Good evening, Carl.
Good evening, Stuart. Good evening, everybody. We let you get away for 1 week and you forget what day it is.
Absolutely. Just totally lost in what's going on. That's fine. I'll get with it.
The trouble of returning and moving house and all of that fun stuff catching up to you, but we are back. Truck season 3. Yeah, season 3 has started, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
A year has gone past so quickly, and we are in our third season of trucks now. We're here at the Auto Club Speedway, of course, Fontana, one of the great circuits. Very, very fast track, has a bit of everything for everybody. Driving these trucks here is very tricky. You just got to put a little bit of brake in there. One thing people are struggling with tonight is the rear. The new aero changes that have come through seem to have made the rear a little bit tail happy for a lot of cars in strange ways, and a few people struggling out there, and it's caught a few people out the last couple of weeks. We saw it at Daytona with the Xfinity last week, and tonight we're seeing a lot of drivers struggling with the rear just in the mid to late corner, so expect to see a few people struggling with that as the race starts.
Yeah, absolutely. Those changes coming through, and the guys just taking some time to adapt to them. But we are starting fresh here, so everyone's on the same space, so to speak. We didn't have a round last week due to those updates from iRacing, so everyone here just getting ready to get underway for Season 3. I can't believe Season 3 already. Edward Foster, the current champion, if you did miss that, last season, taking out the first title for Natari Auto Sports. So noticeably absent from proceedings tonight, however, Carl.
Yep, I think he's getting ready to focus on the Cup itself. Of course, we have the chase starting up this week, so I think a few drivers are just going to be settling in and focusing upon that section of the series in the ANZCAR Cup. But expect to see a few out there. We've got a lot of fast drivers. We've got some past champions. We have got some drivers that have been so close to championships out there. We have got some of the fastest guys in the series. And we've got new faces as well, which is great to see. We've got a few returning customers as well, so this should be a fantastic race tonight. We've got 40 trucks I can see around the track at the moment. So a lot of new faces out there, a lot of new drivers to sort of get used to. It's one of those things that you sort of have to get used to how they drive, see how they go. Of course, when you've not raced people before, you sometimes are a little bit wary of them, and they're a little bit wary of you, of course. So we'll see how this one pans out with the new fresh blood in there, and of course a lot of the old guard as well. How are they going to cope when you get those new drivers coming in and they are fast? It can throw you off your game a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just looking down through the list as well, and one or two new drivers jumping into the mix here. So we've got a strong field here for the first round, which is typically we saw strong fields all throughout Season 2, as is pretty standard for the ANZCAR Truck Series on a Monday night. These trucks extremely popular throughout iRacing circles. So we've been privileged enough to bring you a great Season 2, and I'm really looking forward to getting into Season 3 tonight. So, there was a couple of strugglers last year. We saw Jason Martin. He had a really strong season. So did Josh Micklemore as well. The boys at Mitch Motorsport doing a really, really solid job. Of course, there's the likes of Andrew Dyson who are coming through and getting stronger and stronger every time they drive these cars, particularly at a circuit like this that does require a little bit of brake input. Andrew Dyson will be one to watch. So will Philip Worley as well. So keep an eye out on the DPR simracing.com entries. They're ones to have a watch out for as well. And even someone like Lachlan Urquio could chuck a few surprises into this season. Matty Ray, we saw him with a really strong finish, along with Stephen Williams, always nice and consistent. So I reckon there's probably about a good dozen drivers who could take it out. But to be fair, anyone can. We've seen it time and time again. It's not about race wins in this truck series. It's about consistent performances.
So consistency is key. I'll tell you one driver to keep an eye out for, as well as Ruben Phelps. He has got to be very hungry at the moment. Phelps trying to get that first win in ANZCAR. He has been very strong and very quick as well. He's one of those drivers that he's incredibly quick, incredibly good at running through the field. Qualifying, possibly one of the weak spots, but has been improving in that respect. He's got his teammate out there as well in Aiden Schultz, who is going to want a strong season as well. He may have had some bad luck in the past, but if he can get a good run of it, we know Aiden is quick. So there are a lot of drivers out there. There's a lot of potential, and this season is shaping up to be, well, it's anyone's game. It's anyone's to take at the moment, of course. First race being that way. But if you can get a strong start here at Auto Club, it's a very fast circuit. It's a bit like a super speedway with a little bit of lifting, a little bit of braking. It's an incredibly fast circuit, but if you can get a good start tonight, then it is going to help your championship hopes.
Yeah, speaking of, Aiden Schultz currently sitting third in the practice session here. So we've got just under 5 minutes to go if it is the first time you've joined us here on the ANZCAR Truck Monday night. It is going to be solo qualifying, 2 flying laps coming up after this one, and then we will get into our main race for this evening. So it is going to be an interesting one. As I said, 40 trucks strong. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this one pans out. Of course, cameras brought to you tonight by TrackCams for Gourmet, and we welcome them on board for our stream. I think it's the first time we've used them in the truck series, so we're very keen, particularly at this track, I should say. So we're keen to see what they've got for us tonight. And we're actually back full week this week as well, Carl. Tuesday night tomorrow, we've got the Oz Pro-Am Sim Series for the third wildcard round of Season 4. We're going to take the Radicals out for a run at Oran Park. That's going to be ridiculous to look at. It's going to be awesome to see. Can't wait for that. Wednesday night, back here with the Xfinity Series, the Thunder Series, with a race finish last week that I wish we had been on live for a micro nano widget between the front 3 drivers in that race, and then, as you say, getting into the Cup.
Yeah, busy week indeed. Going to be some fantastic action on the viewing channels, so make sure to join us. You should be enjoying this one. Lots of new paint jobs out there as well. Some really nice looking paint schemes out there. Glenn McLeod enjoying some of those as well, so nice to see. And yeah, definitely it's nice to see some of the new paint jobs coming in as well. But yeah, we've got a fantastic week coming up. I mean, it's nice to have everything back, but it is going to be a very busy week indeed, Stuart.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it. Got a couple of new things coming into the stream as well with the new setup here. Just couldn't quite get them up and running for tonight, but they'll be out throughout the week as well. And Carl's doing some hard work on some stuff for the chase as well. So we're trying to turn it up here as we get towards the close of the season, certainly as far as the Cup goes. So don't stray too far from FGM eCast for the week, as we've got plenty in store for you. You've got Riley Curtis on the screen at the moment. He equally is rocking a new paint job. He did debut this one at the end of last season, but only 1 or 2 races old in the 93. Currently sitting at P2. Dave Douglas, P1 at the moment, if you don't mind. And a good, strong couple of weeks for Dave. He likes the super speedways, actually, so he could be on for a good run here. Saw him run out of fuel and be denied a certain race victory last time out on the stream. So he will be certainly keen to get a big W next to the 199 entry as well.
Yeah, for sure. He's had a very good week leading up to this one. Good run at Daytona in the Xfinity cars. And I'd like to say my aid for his victory there. I'll take some credit for that one. But yeah, it's good to see Dave out on track. We love him up in the broadcast booth, but he does some amazing work out on that track. He is a very quick driver, and he is always good on these very fast speedways.
Yeah, absolutely. So another one there. We're just trying to have a focus on Luke Trahere. He probably by his definition, or if not certainly by ours, had a little quieter truck season last season than he probably would have liked. Of course, finishing second in Season 1 2021 he'll be looking for a much stronger result this season in the way down entry, the LT43 entry. So we'll keep an eye on Luke and his progress throughout this season. He's definitely one to watch. Another one, Ben Vickers as well, in the Juice Digital, or the Juice entry. That is another one to watch. He had some improving performances throughout Season 2. He's also made the step up into the main game running in the Cup. So keep an eye out for Ben Vickers in the 77 truck as well.
Yeah, that's it. It was good to see him making his debut in the Cup Series last time out. Nice to see him there, and it was definitely a bit of a different race, a little bit more laid back, of course. Just myself with that one, taking that one out on the channel, but it was nice to actually. It was a pretty fun race to watch, and a very fun finish there as well in the old Cup Series. But it's great to have the trucks back, as you said. These things are such different animals to drive. They're such different beasts to drive, and they are great fun as well. If you've never had the chance to actually give these a go, they are brilliant because they are so different at the rear. They really can catch you out so fast as well, of course. Big V8 engine in the front, giving it lots and lots of power. Absolutely no weight over the rear axle, and barely any aerodynamics as well.
And just in the chat there, Brent Hobbs has just let us know about something I hadn't quite caught on to, which is that along with I'm just looking for a number here. It's just Jamie Budd there, the 180. These boys have jumped into the Send It Sim Sports team and running brand new liveries, so we would jump on board with them when they're out on track and have a little look at that one as well. But for tonight, given that our current champion, who I had planned to jump on board with tonight, isn't running, let's jump on with Jason Martin in the number 21 Mitch Motorsport entry. We get to see plenty of this truck over the season, no doubt about it. And Carl will have a quick run around the track with Jason.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Auto Club is a track that it's not... You would say it's not too hard to drive. It's pretty much flat out all the way around. A little bit of lifting, a little bit of braking, just dragging the brake in. We're coming across the start-finish line here. Generally, second lap, probably going to be a slightly quicker lap away. You get a little bit of tyre drop-off. Going up high here. High line tends to be the quicker line here at Auto Club, so taking that slightly higher line in, Jason. Easing it off tiny little bit in the corner. Just gets through there up to 269 miles an hour, kilometers per hour off the corner. Going to be getting up to almost 285 down this back straight into the second set of corners, turns 3 and 4, lifting off a little bit, goes down towards that lower line, just tags the white line there. His back end just wants to step out a tiny bit on him, has to lift off a little bit from that. He's going to try for a second faster lap here. Really high top speeds now as you get across the line, so he's going to drop down below the line here and now go for his fast lap, almost 290 kilometers per hour into this first set of corners. Just want to keep it steady through here, maybe just a little tap of the brake, running a little bit more front brake bias just to try and keep the nose down so the aero doesn't get under the back of the car, lift it off a bit. As we come down to the turns 3 and 4 once more, getting in the corners, taking that higher line now. We'll keep just mid-corner a little bit, may drop down a tiny bit, not quite as far this time. You saw that rear end step out last time, it's much more settled this time. Jason just gets a wiggle and loses it. That is going to be costly for Martin. He's currently P3, but he's going to drop down a few positions.
It is indeed. That's an uncharacteristic mistake from one of the best in the business. So fair to say it's going to be a tough one out there tonight. If Jace is struggling, that the drivers are going to be battling away. In the meantime, Danny G in the Mitch Motorsport entry as well has jumped up into P2. Andrew Dyson currently running in provisional pole, but Big Dave Double D's just jumped up and trumped him on his final lap with a 41.54. So he's now currently sitting provisional pole. Just scan down through the list here. Let's have a look at who is still to run. Jamie Budd, we said that we'd give these guys a little bit of coverage. Let's do that. We'll jump on and have a look at the 180 entry. So this is Jamie's first race with the ANZCAR Truck Series. So wish him all the best for the first one. Cracking looking livery that actually. Don't mind. Very partial to a little bit of orange and black. So a good looking livery there. Sydney Computers and AJ Insurance Service sponsorship as well. So lots of support there from Joe Daly and the team. So good to see him supporting yet another group of guys in the Send It Sim Sports team.
Yeah, it's going to want a just try and keep it a stable night tonight for Jane Bug. Like, you don't want to go too hard too quick when you first come into a series. So good first lap, not the fastest out there, of course. That's his first lap. His second lap will be a little bit quicker now. So again, just trying to keep the car nice and steady, nice and stable, and that's it. It's all about getting the experience in on this first race. Sometimes starting towards the rear of the field is not a bad thing here at Auto Club because it is such a fast circuit. You can have a big mistake here at the front of the field and it can catch a lot of drivers out. So if you're a bit further back, you can avoid those accidents. Coming up to the line now, how's this going to be for Jamie? Will he get a good run for the second lap? He does indeed, and jumps it up into 27th position.
Not a bad effort there at all. Just behind Christopher Finlay, he's about to complete his second flying lap, one of the Sim Boys entries, the 104, very much one of the stable entrants into this series. You see Chris week in, week out in those very iconic liveried Sim Boys cars that you can always tell a Sim Boys car from the rest of the field, as they generally tend to run those bright colours. Always looks good on the stream. But we have run out of time. That is the 5 minutes up, and it is going to be big, bad, bustling Double D Dave Douglas who's going to take out pole position here. That's, I believe, his first while we've been streaming.
His first for a while, indeed. Dave Douglas taking out the pole, showing he's got some definite speed here. So let's run through the field. So on the front row... Sorry, we'll wait for the screen to come up. There we go. Front row, we've got Dave Douglas and Andrew Dyson. Second row, we have Skurlock and Danny G. Third row, we have Phelps, Jason Martin. Martin getting lucky with that lap. That first lap was good enough to keep him in 6th position. Fourth row is Stevie Dubb and Ryan Jones. Fifth, we have Tim Weston and Ben Vickers. Sixth, Scott Griffiths, Luke Trahere. Seventh, we have Wally and Micklemore. Eighth, we have Schultz Russell. Ninth is Norman Clark Dortnack. Ninth row is Callow and Davidson. 10th, we have Wellman Patton. 11th is Hunter and Koch. 12th is Opio Finley. 12th is Bud and Beckinsale. 13th, we have Donnelly and Burkick. 14th, we have Ingerson and Dylan. And then we have Philip Howard, Dwayne Priest, Stephen Clark, Maddie Raymond, Brenton Hobbs, Riley Curtis, Bruce Barnes, and Mick Taylor towards the back of the grid. So we'll see who jumps out there. It looks like it's going to be 39 cars starting. It looks like Stephen Clark might not be making it out there, unfortunately. So it'll be a 39 car field for tonight, which is one heck of a large field here.
Yeah, absolutely it is. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys survive as we get ready to get things underway here. Just waiting for everyone to jump out on track there. It's just forming up in pit lane as we speak and waiting to get underway for the warm-up lap. Got Andrew Dyson on his right-hand side. In fact, we've got a good mix at the front here. Douglas, Dyson, Skurlock, Danny G, Ruben Phelps, 5 different teams represented in the 5 top positions on the grid. And we do have Martin and Williams from Mitch Motorsport and DPR, simrix.com entry. So a little bit of drafting will work in their favour throughout this race if they can pair up. But they'll be looking to get it done here tonight. We've got 80 laps. And let's see how this one pans out.
And look, that's the thing. It's Highline is going to be one of the favoured, I'd say. People are going to be looking at that Highline, wanting to try and keep it. The low line can chew up the tyres a little bit. Big shout out. Hello to Tristo. Good to see you out here, mate. Nice to have you joining us in the channel, having a watch along. And hey to Trev as well. Good evening. It's going to be a good one tonight. And as I said, that low line can sometimes be a bit of a curse. You know, taking that pole position puts you on that low line. And for the first couple of laps, that can punish your tyres a little bit. Can get things a little bit hot. Dyson might have a little bit of an advantage starting up high, but we'll see how that one goes. Watch out for the Mitch Motorsport cars of Danny G and Jason Martin. You can see they are together at the moment. They'll want to try and link up and get something working for themselves. But we are coming around to the start-finish straight. The pace truck will be peeling in, and we will be going live. We will be going green for Season 3 of the ANZCAR Truck Series here on FGM eCast, your place for E-Pace. Dave Douglas is going to lead us away as we go green for Season 3 of the Truck Series.
Dyson's going to have to check up there. He's a little bit in front of Dave Douglas when he dropped the hammer and the light went green, but off they go. That's caught him out a bit. Skurlock looks to go with Dave Douglas down on that low line, try and hang Dyson up if they can. He's got that high line. He's going to get a good exit out of the corner here, but it is going to be Dave Douglas who leads us away with Michael Skurlock underneath him. So drop back there, Ruben Phelps, Danny G, Jason Martin, I should say, Stephen Williams, and Ryan Jones up inside the top 10 as well. A few places changed already. Josh Mickelmore moving fast early. He's up 3 spots already into P11 off the start. So there's going to be plenty of good battles throughout the field. We'll bring them to you as we can. Good starts for Matty Raymond, Riley Curtis as well. Equally, both up 6 positions. A little further back down in the field as there's a spread in the midfield.
We've got cars around in the midfield, and it stayed green at the moment. It is green. I was trying to see who that was. It was the purple car. I think it might have been Philip Worley actually going around. It was indeed a big accident. They were running about 3 or 4 wide there. It looks like Worley just got caught out a little bit, as it looks like somebody just got up into the wall and just caught Worley. So I think it might have been... I'm trying to see who that was. I think it might have been...
Christopher Finlay, maybe?
Jaden Russell into the wall. So he got up into the wall, and then there was a little bit of netcode issues in there as well that just caught Philip Worley and just pinged him off the wall. So big accident midfield, but it stayed green. This has given the chance for Dave Douglas to get a good run out at the front with Andrew Dyson. They've broken away from the rest of the pack. And you can see Danny G now leading the rest of the pack. It's a little bit more spread out behind him. They are still racing 2x2 though. There are a few double track races. It is pretty mad down at 18th. Below 18th at the moment. Gary Wellman is really trying to put the pressure on Nigel, trying to put the pressure on Jamie Budd at the moment, who has had a blinding start, working his way up into 19th position.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like Jackson Keller got caught out in that one. He's got a blown motor. That's hit the night over for him. Christopher Finlay as well, somehow involved in that incident. So his car was quite badly damaged as well. So a couple of drivers just copping it as a consequence of that. Unfortunately, not able to bring you the replay of that one there, because it didn't actually really trigger anything. So if we can find the driver, Carl, we might try and jump back on board with them a little bit later on and have a look at that start. But it is status quo. Dave Douglas, Andrew Dyson maintaining their starting position, and then it is a gaggle behind them. Got 5 cars here battling away. Danny G, Ryan Jones. Jonesy's made a move up in the field, and no surprises, they're up 4 positions. Always a good starter with Ruben Phelps, Jason Martin, Ben Vickers involved in this pack as well, and there's another pack behind them. Not sure what happened to Michael Skurlock off the start there as well. He's dropped back 8 positions now into P11, so he obviously got somehow caught up, or maybe got a little bit loose. We did say in the pre-game there that the rear of the truck, a little bit loose, particularly on cold tyres, so maybe he got caught up in that and dropped down into P11, but he'll be back no doubt. Another good start, as you mentioned, from Jamie Budd. Up 10 spots already. A cracking debut for him. He's inside the top 20 here, currently in P17. Just at the tail end of this pack that's trying to catch on to the grouping in front of them. And then if we go back a little bit further as well, Riley Curtis, 17 positions up for him. Fastest mover of the night so far. He's just getting in front of Tristan Koch and chasing on the back of Matty Hunter and Gary Wellman. So plenty of battles going on throughout the field here early on in the race.
Yeah, a lot of action going on. Michael Skurlock got caught up on the first lap, hit indeed, cold tyres catching him out. Just ran up a little bit high into the wall, just could not get it turned through 3 and 4. Got caught up in that. Aiden Schultz got caught up in that accident quite badly. He's got a lot of damage to that truck, so he is going to be just limping around now, trying to get it home for some points. Unfortunately for Aiden, the Black Cat strikes once more. Danny G, meanwhile, making a nice move on Ryan Jones at the moment. Get down on the inside himself. Jason Martin working that inner line at the moment. You can see Ryan Jones on that outside line, just holding it a little bit loose. He's running up very high to the wall there, manages to keep it. Meanwhile, you've got Ben Vickers trying to make a run on Jason Martin. Martin defending very well. Danny G on that inside line, trying to get up to Andrew Dyson as well. It's an absolute brawl at the front here. Dyson's going to get caught 3 wide as Danny G goes down the inside. Ryan Jones on the outside, and Dyson gets caught in the middle and loses out there.
Does drops 3 positions there. Just struggling, not struggling, that's a wrong word for it, but he's just battling away here in this grouping. It's so tight and intense there that just the wrong track position caught him out there, and the Mitch Motorsport boys put the move through. So Danny G and Jason Martin doing really, really well there to move up. They're going to try and cut away now if they can. Defending, Dyson's gone down on the low line here to try and make something happen if he can.
Yeah, watch out for somebody like Jason Martin or Dyson to try and work that low line, because they are very good on their tyres. They might be able to make that low line work a little bit better for them than some of the other drivers. Generally, the high line is the preferred line. You can see them 3 wide again. Martin getting down in the middle and just blocking Dyson off, allowing his teammate Danny G just to keep ahead there. The 21 and 24 working together very well at the moment. Ryan Jones, meanwhile, is checked out in front of him in the green machine, getting away nicely there for Ryan Jones, coming off a very strong win in the Cup Series, of course. Now trying to chase down Dave Douglas up ahead of him. So Dave Douglas being in control of this race, had a nice easy one so far, just out there in the lead, but I'll tell you what, Jones is going to be trying to catch him. We know Ryan Jones does not like to sit back and just take pace. He wants to try and catch up. Meanwhile, Josh Micklemore is working his way up the field, but with a very damaged truck. He's got a lot of front end damage on that vehicle, so that's not going to help him tonight. He's going to be struggling a little bit with that, but he still has some pace. Obviously it's not affecting him too much, but not what you want generally.
Yeah, I just noticed there as well some damage on the back of Ryan Jones' truck, so they must have just been involved there in that checkup at the front of the field as a consequence of that early spin. So a little bit of damage to a number of the trucks, but as you say, certainly not affecting the pace. Ryan Jones at the moment flying along, fastest lap on track last time around, and he is starting to put the screws into Dave Douglas. So we'll jump to the front here and have a quick look at what's going on there, using that higher line as well. Just saw in the background there, Josh Micklemore trying to put the pressure on. He's got Dyson down on his inside as well. So this is closed right up now at the front. We've got a pack of probably about 13 trucks all involved. And Ryan Jones, as you said, not wasting any time at all in trying to put the pressure down on the back of Dave Douglas in the 199 entry.
Ben Vickers just getting very, very tight on the exit of the corner, getting caught up behind Aidan Schultz there. That's going to give Josh Micklemore the opportunity to make a bit of a run here. Also, just for Christopher Finley, he didn't get caught up in the incident. He just had some connection issues, but managed to get back before he lost too many. He's only lost 1 lap, so he's trying to get back on the lead lap at the moment. Unfortunately, though, connection issues just dropping him out, so good to see him back. Lucky he didn't get caught up in that incident, so no damage to him, but he is a lap down, so a caution could really help him out at the moment. A little bit further back, we've got Luke Traher making a move on Stevie Dubs. Stephen Williams just getting passed by Luke Traher, 43, getting through in the way down machine, just passing the DPR's Phoenix Smokers car. A bit hard to see the old sponsorship on the front of Stevie Dubs' car, as there's a little bit of damage there, a few scratches, but I'm sure it'll buff out quite easily.
Looks like it's sponsored by OE, the original equipment company, but of course Phoenix Smokers. Jump on board and get yourself something to make something beautiful. They've got a whole heap of stuff on their website. I was having a look around on there on the weekend, but enough about the hobbies and back into the racing. Skurlock here trying to make a resurgence as well. He's still down in 11th position on the back of Luke Traher at the moment. He's trying to get the help there to get past Stevie Dub, and right behind them as well, of course, is Scott Griffith in the number 5 entry. So this pack here heading up as they continue to get wide at the front. We have had a change for the lead, even so momentarily, as Dave Douglas retakes the lead there, and sniffing around in the background, no surprises at all, Jason Martin looking to get involved. Jonesy gets a little bit loose there, gets up high. This is going to give Martin a good run on both of them, because it sort of slowed Douglas and Ryan Jones down, so they should get a better drive off the corner here, but Martin's got a good run on them.
Yeah, Douglas is going to get a little bit better run. Martin's going to lose out a little bit on the straight. He's going to duck in behind Dave Douglas, try and slingshot himself off the corner. You can see Dave getting down on that low line now, defending, and he's going to drift up in front of Ryan Jones, block off his path. This is going to give Jason Martin the opportunity. Jonesy just gets into the back of Dave. Dave manages to keep it out the wall. Good driving from Dave Douglas to save that one. That would have just unsettled the truck a fair bit. Just the slightest nudge from Ryan Jones there. But that's dropped Dave Douglas back to 3rd position. That's put Jason Martin up into 3rd and kept Ryan Jones in 2nd place. Big shuffle of position there for those guys. just looking down the field a little bit, was watching Riley Curtis made his way up 19 positions at the moment. Riley Curtis really charging his way through the field, but he has a fast charge and Tristan Cox just behind him, as well as Lachlan Urquio. So watch out for that battle later on in the race.
Daniel Beckinsale, a new entrant to the series, certainly by my recollection as well. In the 919 entry, he is up 6 positions so far as well. And in this battle pack, he's got Matty Ray and Jamie Budd charging down on him as well. Look at this grouping, just 3 or 4 wide, they don't mind, and just continuing to get through here nice and clean. It's great racing to watch at the moment. And for everyone back on their return to the ANZCAR trucks. We've got a blinking car there on screen as well, which will just be causing a little bit of concern for the drivers behind, just to make sure that it doesn't drop down from the sky in front of them and cause an incident. So they'll have that on their minds as well.
They will. Meanwhile, up the front, Danny G has managed to slide his way past Dave Douglas into 3rd position. And now Micklemore is all over the back of Double D. He is putting some pressure on Dave Douglas at the moment. Danny G just getting away a little bit, trying to catch up to his teammate Jason Martin. He's battling it out with Ryan Jones now, Danny G, of course. So Ryan Jones trying to defend off that front damage is not going to be helping him in a straight line too much, but he's still keeping some pace. Obviously, this place is a very fast track, so that aero damage can affect you a little bit, but luckily the trucks aren't as aero dependent as some other cars. They are basically a brick on wheels, so a little bit of front-end damage is not going to hurt you too much. These things rely on pure horsepower. Josh Micklemore making the move on Dave Douglas right now, gets down the inside, does a nice slide job, gets up in front of Double D, blocks him off. Will Micklemore hold it? Gets up very close to the wall. He checks up. This is going to give Andrew Dyson the chance to get through. Dyson getting down the inside here. They're going to be free wide across the line, and Dyson is going to get that position back. Watch out for Ruben Phelps as well. He's going to get a charge here as well. That check up from Josh Micklemore really hurting Dave Douglas, who got caught up behind him and is going to hemorrhage positions right here.
It's amazing. It's making me think forward to around lap 78. If we've still got this sort of grouping, there's going to be a very, very big push, and very, very easy for a driver who might be running in 2nd to finish in 6th. So stick around for that. It's going to be one heck of a race to watch as we get through this one tonight. Just can't believe how quickly drivers are losing positions here. 3 or 4 positions in the wrong spot, 3 or 4 positions you will lose. So just a reminder, if you've just joined us, Dave Douglas, currently running in 7th position, was in the lead of this race no more than 3 laps ago, and just has been caught out in a couple of places and has dropped down into 7th.
Yeah, now's the time where tyre wear can start to come into a little bit. You don't get... The tyre drop-off is effective here, and you start to get a little bit of it. It's not the worst place in the world for it, but you will start to get a little bit tighter on the truck. Danny G just trying to make a bit of a move on Ryan Jones at the moment, taking a slightly higher line, watching duck down, try for the slingshot past Ryan Jones here. He's going to try for that position, I'd say. Getting a nice bit of draft, gets underneath him. He's going to try to do it into turn 1 and 2. Gets underneath Ryan Jones right now. He's going to try and get in there a little bit later and then just sling himself up in front of Jones if he can, just to block him off. Try and check him up a little bit so he can secure that position, I would say. Will Danny just get up there? He's going to slide up there. Ryan Jones is going to try and use that slingshot to do exactly the same thing to Danny G, but will he have the pace to do it? Nice move there from Danny G, getting the Mitch Motorsport car up into 2nd place behind his teammate Jason Martin. Danny G just having to lift out a little bit, just loses some speed in the corner. This is going to give Ryan Jones that inside line. So should see Danny G get a little bit of a better run off the corner here. It's going to be a drag race down as a straight, but watch out for Andrew Dyson. He's going to wait for these two to battle it out and then try and do the same move as he did last time. Try and get 2 positions for 1, get past both of them at the same time. And Ruben Phelps is sticking there as well. These guys are just holding on. They're a little bit acting a bit like vultures at the moment, just picking off cars that are busy battling themselves, not really noticing the 2 behind them, just charging forwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Just gives us a good view here in the background there of Luke Trujillo and Michael Skurlock on the back of Dave Douglas as well. So they're trying to give him the hurry along. Steve Williams dropped back to 13th position now. On board here with Andrew Dyson. As you can see there, he's just trying to find a way around Ryan Jones. So go 3 wide here.
in the high line. Dyso's going to have to lift off a little bit there, a little bit earlier, just so he doesn't check up too much. You can see Ruben Phelps has taken advantage of that. Got a great slingshot around Dyson. He's going to get underneath Ryan Jones. They're going to go 3 wide down towards turn number 3. You can see Dyson on the inside. Ruben Phelps just eases out a little bit, gets behind Ryan Jones right now. The top cars are going to hold that high line. Andrew Dyson's going to try and get slot into that line now himself, and he does. Just gets in there between Ruben Phelps. Nice little bit of driving there from the guys. Easy done. Now, these guys need to start trying to think to work together rather than battle, so they can pull out a bit of a move, a bit of a lead over Josh Micklemore and start catching Jason Martin, crucially. But will Danny G let that? Right now, Jason Martin has got a wingman at his back, and then a little bit further back, he's got a second wingman in that of Josh Micklemore. Of course, Mitch Motorsport, we know, love to race each other, but these guys will be happy to just hold up the groups a little bit, just to help Jason get a nice big lead here if we remain green.
Yeah, and he's just quietly worked his way away, hasn't he? While we've been having a look at the battle going on behind him, and it's just enabled him to get away. He'll be managing tyre wear a little bit as well. He won't have to be pushing as hard as everyone behind him to maintain that position. His lap pace is equal to or better than the pack behind him, so Jason's got a lot of positives at the moment. We're probably about 17 laps away at least, if we stay green, from seeing anyone jump into pit lane, I would imagine. So he'll just be managing things at the moment, trying to run as long as he can.
Yeah, I imagine most drivers are going to split this one down the middle, just try for the old single stop strategy. Not too much point in going for a 2-stopper here. You're going to lose a lot of time in pit lane. But of course, if that caution comes out, imagine everybody's going to jump in there, grab some fresh tyres and get moving on as fast as they can, because that is the great equaliser. But we have not seen that caution flag out just yet. Kay Donnelly right now having a good battle with one of the SRM boys of Matty Ray. Matty Ray trying to keep that car as clean as ever. Mr. Sheen doing a great job as always. He's working his way up the field. Started towards the back of the pack. 14 positions gained so far this evening. One of the big gainers of the night.
Yeah, in fact, this whole pack of cars just moving up together. Matty Hunter, Lachlan Urquio, we've got Daniel Beckinsale as well as Kate Donnelly. So they're all just working as a pack, and all of them up almost into the double digits in terms of movement throughout the field. Just behind them, coming quick as well, is Riley Curtis and Bruce Barnes. Looks like they're working together in inverted commas. They're both up 14 spots as well. So these guys just making moves, just slowly managing the race. And as we know, good tyres, good clean truck towards the end of the race, and it can be anyone's for the win.
Yeah, that's it. You have to keep a relatively clean truck to get it there at the end, and it's important just to keep it going, not get involved in too many wrecks, get involved in too many cautions. And look, so far we've seen some great racing out on track. I mean, it's been fantastic. 25 laps of green flag racing. We had that early incident that didn't bring out the caution, which is great to see. But we've seen some fantastic stuff out on track at the moment. There is some great racing going on throughout the field, side-by-side action. You see here, we've got that's not Kay Donnelly, sorry, that's Nigel Patton. And his teammate of...
Troy Davison, and Dave Douglas. All
battling it out at the moment, and these guys are really putting the pressure on, and it's been some really aggressive driving out there tonight. Big shout out to Tim Weston as well. He's having a great debut too out there, up there in 10th position at the moment, just driving it nice and smoothly, just behind Scott Griffiths actually. So really nice job from him. He's just out ahead of Patton, so just keeping the car clean, just keeping it in a good rhythm at the moment. Meanwhile, up at the front, Danny G has got pressure from Andrew Dyson and Ruben Phelps. They are really applying a pressure right now. You can see Dyso trying to get that high line on Danny G, trying to get up past him. Ruben Phelps is going to try and get up there as well, try and push Dyso past a little bit. Ryan Jones, meanwhile, is dropping off a tiny bit. He's just losing a little bit of pace. We have had Mirko Dortnak and Jackson Callow just leaving. Somebody's just pitted. Sorry, that was the wrong card.
Steve Williams, I think. Mirko Dortnak. We've just got
Stephen Williams. So yeah, Steve Up is trying something different. So he has got some damage on that truck. So he has got some damage which isn't helping him out, but he has decided to come in early. I'm pretty sure that was a chosen stop rather than a forced one. because he was running pretty well up in the pack. So he is going to go for the 2 stopper possibly here. So he's trying something a little bit different, or he's coming in early as Ben Vickers comes in as well. He's going to try coming in early and getting a good jump on the pack, trying to get a little bit of a leapfrog over the other guys. So Stevie Dub trying something different. So expect to see some people possibly coming in now. They're probably being told that they can just about make it to the end on fuel from here. But of course, they're going to be asking a lot of those tyres to do around 50 more laps.
Yeah, it's interesting to see them pit this early. So they'll be probably hoping for a caution, get some fresh rubber, run for another length, and then get a late caution to give them another stop. But that's a big ask so far. 28 laps. Andrew Dyson now in the lead of this race. So Dave Douglas must have burnt them up early, because he's dropped way back down now into 14th position. So he's got a lot of work to do. He'll be looking forward to that first stop. So a good one for him it will be if we could get a caution now. Another one who's moving up well is Luke Trahair. He does manage his tyres well, so he will have some pace towards the latter part of this side of the race. You would imagine to see him maybe make a couple more moves. He is gaining on Ryan Jones in front of him. But working with Michael Skurlock at this point in time, those two just running nice and smooth together at the moment. It's in the background there, you see Josh Micklemore battling away as well. He does have that damage on the Mitch Motorsport entry. He's just chasing out Scott Griffiths at the moment. So tyre wear here now is going to be a bit of a play for some of these drivers.
Let's jump into Stevie Dub there. You can just see him on the inside line there, just getting past Micklemore and everybody. He is absolutely flying at the moment on those fresh tyres. You can see the speed advantage now on those fresh tyres. And just a little bit further back, Tim Weston as well, just making a move on Josh Micklemore there. Nice job there, just getting underneath the Mitch Motorsport car, getting down on the inside of that slightly damaged Mitch Motorsport car. A little bit of damage to the front there. It's going to need a bit of a buff, bit of polish. A little bit of turtle wax in there, so that should be okay. Meanwhile, up the front, Andrew Dyson has got past Jason Martin for the lead. Dyson in the lead in the DPR car. Just behind him, he's got Jason Martin and Danny G. Two Mitch Motorsport cars working together. Ruben Phelps is still up there in the Gravedigger entry, trying his best to work his way and keep into contention in this race. And Ryan Jones just holding back a little bit. Seeing a little bit of a strange thing from Ryan Jones, not pushing it too hard. He's actually just sitting there and not going flat chat. So Ryan Jones using a little bit of strategy for a change. Great to see, and he's just holding it there. He's losing a little bit of time, every lap, but he is keeping consistent. Meanwhile, Stevie Dub is catching up to this pack, and he's going to try and get past him. Crucially, if he gets past him now, he'll be on the lead lap, and if a caution comes out, it won't have affected him too much.
Well, he's certainly got the pace to get that through. As you said, the effects of those fresher tyres. We don't want to waste too much time burning them up trying to get past these guys. He is about to get this done. So,
and right now he can work with his teammate as well of Dyson. Just sit in front of Dyson a little bit, maybe just help give him a little bit of a draft, help him along a little bit to pull him out in front of people like Jason Martin. So don't be too surprised if we see a little bit of teamwork coming into play, but I think Stevie Dub is working on his strategy of just going as fast as possible right now with those fresh tyres to try and get the undercut on some drivers who are sticking it out there. So he's going to try it for a big undercut here. He's going to gain a lot of positions, but of course he will be on those old tyres when the other drivers pit for their new ones. So he will lose a lot of time. We have seen this kind of strategy work out in the past. Famously, of course, Mirko Dornak taking his maiden victory in ANZCAR Cup with a strategy coming in very early and catching the field off guard completely. So it has been done in the past. It is a possibility, but it is a tricky one to work out. Sometimes it pays off for you, sometimes it doesn't. We'll see how that one works out. Meanwhile, at the fast end of the field, Ben Vickers at the moment, he's setting some very good lap times. He's got the fastest lap of the race with a 41.7. He's currently setting lap times around about second to 2 seconds faster than the leaders as well, and he's catching up on this pack as well. So he's trying to get past Luke Trahair right there, just drops down in front of Skurley. He's trying to get back on the lead lap as well, crucially. Wants to get there, get into a position, so if that yellow does come out, he's at least on the lead lap. But he's going to try and get as many positions as he can. When all these drivers come into pit lane, you're going to see Ben Vickers and Stevie Dubb really high up in the order. They will have definitely gained effective race lead, and it could be crucial if we get a caution after the pit stops, which we sometimes see, of course, when pit stops happen. If caution comes out, they could be in a fantastic position to take advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely. 35 through here of the 80. Pushing halfway in the first race of Season 3 of the ANZCAR Truck Series. You're on FGME Cast here. Stuart Brown and Carl Withy bringing this one to you. And you can just see there Ben Vickers trying to make hay while the sun shines on those fresh tyres. Not going to make it easy for him. And in fact, there is a challenge for the lead going on now between Ruben Phelps and Andrew Dyson. So Phelps has managed to manage. Well done. Phelps has managed those tyres well throughout his the progress through the field, and looks like it's serving him well in the latter part here. So he now takes over from Andrew Dyson in the lead of this race. We've now our 5th different leader of the race so far this evening. So
plenty of bonus points being handed out tonight. That's always nice to have. It's a nice little reward sometimes, and can be useful towards the end of the championship, of course. Every point does count. Ben Vickers there just getting underneath Ruben Phelps and getting the lap back. But you can see Andrew Dyson sees this advantage and is trying to take it now. He's trying to get underneath, trying to get on the back of Ben Vickers, try and get a little bit of toe and try and slingshot himself back past Ruben Phelps. Doesn't quite make it work there. Phelps just covering off that line perfectly, doing a really nice job there. Dyson still trying to run that low line. He's still able to make it work. Same as Jason Martin and Danny G. They seem to be able to get that low line actually working for them, which is a tricky thing to do here at Auto Club. As I say, it generally favours that slightly higher to mid-high line here rather than that low line. But they are definitely making it work for the time being.
He's closed right back up on the back of him here as well, hasn't he? So a little bit of one eye on pit lane. We're getting close to that now. 2 laps from that critical lap. Lachlan Urquhart has decided to jump into the lane early, so he is now getting his stop done. He may have to do a little bit of management to make it to the end of this one, depending on where he runs in the pack. Mick Taylor also deciding it's time to jump in. I'm going to be interested to see if Dave Douglas's pace returns. He's now down in 23rd position, so if he can manage to get the 199 back up towards the front of the field after the round of pit stops.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Dave Douglas is just doing some mega fuel saving, just trying something a little bit different possibly to the rest of the field. He's decided to go a little bit of a different way to the rest of the pack, and try something a little bit unique, let's say, and see what he can make work, because we've got the drivers coming in. Scully, Micklemore, those guys have pitted as well. This is the stage where you need to make that pit stop. The huge undercut advantage, and yeah, Dave Douglas is doing a mega fuel save at the moment. He's clutching it in. He is trying to take this truck as far as possible, but how far is that? That's the question. So how far will Dave Douglas go? He's going to try and keep it out there for as long as possible, and probably hope for a caution to come out for him.
Well, at the moment, Jason Martin's in, Ryan Jones is in, Luke Traher in, so we've got to that critical lap 40. That means these guys can fuel to the end. So it's an interesting play, because, of course, Douglas now was 12 seconds or so down on the leaders when the pit stop started to be taken. So he's lost a lot of time doing that. And is he going to save that time in pit lane?
Yeah, it's an interesting call here. I mean, unfortunately, I couldn't get full numbers of how long these guys could go tonight. I think usually with the trucks, they can usually go about 45, maybe 50 laps. You've got Ruben Phelps coming in, Dyson, Danny G as well. I think it's usually more tyres that tend to start giving out and be one of the big deterrents of going for that long strategy. But we've got Riley Curtis out there. He's just taking the lead of the race, I think. No, he's coming into pit lane as well. So I think that might be Dave Douglas actually.
Yeah, he's
coming in as well.
He's just jumped in as well, but he did do a big fuel save. We were just on board with him there, and it was clutch in right the way around the corner. So I'm just going to keep an eye here on his standing pit stop time. Again, unless he saved a heap, he's lost a heap. So he's going to need to have done a fairly good job of it there to have that make the difference. He's only going to save, in that period of time, a couple of seconds at most of fuel, and he would have had to do it the whole way around. So
tyres are going to lose you all that time anyway. The thing that costs you time in pit lane is the tyres. So that's it's going to be interesting. So Stevie Williams is going to take the lead of this race now. Stevie Dubb in the lead. Ben Vickers catching up to him very quickly. So this is going to be interesting to see how it goes. So this ideally is when a caution will come out, probably in about the next 5-10 laps. If a caution comes out then, it's going to really help out Stephen Williams, Ben Vickers. Of course, it is a big if, but there are cars out there on cold tyres now. A lot of people on cold tyres, a lot of people on fresh tyres, and sometimes that can cause mistakes. So see how this one goes. We'll see how this race rolls on now. But Season 1 champion is in the lead of the race with a slightly damaged car. He's not as clean as he would have hoped it would have been, but he is in with a shout at the moment. And as I said, if that yellow drops, he is going to be in an ideal position.
yeah, or alternatively, he's going to want it to drop later in the race so that he still has fresher tyres than everyone else, or if they decide to run through, he manages to get the jump. Just to let you know there, Dave Douglas, the pit lane pit stop timers, we do have a caution. Hayden Schultz has had an incident, and this has changed the complexion of the race completely.
This is exactly what Stephen Williams wanted to happen. This is perfect for him. So just going back to have a little bit of a look, looks like Schultz, weird incident there. He just sort of was mid-corner. I think it looks like the drivers were just trying to go too wide. The 024 just got up into him. It looks like the 024 thought he was past, thought he was clear, and just got up into Aiden, caught him, and that's flung him up into Patton as well. Patton getting caught up into that one. So the 024 is Igor Burkic there. Yeah. And yeah, it just looks like he's just unsighted up into Schultz there and just gone straight into him. Patton, the unfortunate victim in that as well. And few drivers just getting very lucky not to get caught up in that one. But this has worked out.
So luckiest driver of all is Stephen Williams and Ben Vickers.
And Ben Vickers. Yeah, look, these guys are this is gonna work out very well for them. They're gonna be able to get some nice fresh tyres on the car. They're gonna be able to add a little bit of fuel if they need to, and they're gonna drop back a few positions. But bear in mind, you get a bit of tyre drop off here. So will we see a lot of drivers coming in for an extra stop right now, just driving it into pit lane, because they've been out there for 5 to 6 laps, some of those drivers. They might come in for right side only. They might come in and just chuck some fresh rights on there, or a full set of fresh tyres on as well, just to help them out a little bit, because it will help them out for the race. Those fresher tyres will help out. We've seen tyre drop-off is quite high here. So Ben Vickers and Stephen Williams will have a really good chance. And you can see those cars coming in. I think Andrew Dyson stayed out, but Jason Martin's come in. Danny G's stayed out as well. So pretty much all the drivers are coming in. So this has made a real change to the race. This has worked out perfectly for Vickers and Williams.
Yeah, if you were inside that sort of top 10, maybe even only the top 5, you'd stay out, but otherwise you definitely jump through and make a stop. There's Dave Douglas has stayed out, so is Brent Hobbs, so they pit on lap 40, so they're on fresh rubber as our leaders are, but anywhere else you'd jump in and just grab fresh tyres. There's no set limits tonight, so you'd certainly have a crack at it, I think.
Right side only for Jason Martin, so that is interesting to see. What about Vickers? Because Vickers had a relatively quick stop, and I think he took he took all 4 sets. So the good thing for Vickers and Williams is they had a bit of a lead as well, so it worked out very well for those guys. They will have dropped some positions, of course, but it is going to work out perfectly. Ruben Phelps is going to be the leader of the race. Tim Weston up in 4th position at the moment. Very good for his debut. Matty Raymond, 30 positions gained in the race in 5th position. They've all done the same amount of laps on those tyres, 5 laps on those tyres. So they're going to be a little bit worn. Then you've got Norman Clark, Dave Douglas, Brent Hobbs. So there are a few cars to get through to get to the top. And that might be crucial for somebody like Ruben Phelps. That might be the thing that helps him out. Same for Danny G and Andrew Dyson. This might really help him out. The fact that those guys on the freshest tyres need to get past a few cars. So they need to get past about 7 cars to get up to the front again on those fresh tyres. So Jason Martin's going to have to battle it through. Ben Vickers, big gainer, up in P10. Michael Skurlock's dropped down to 11th. Ryan Jones, 12th. Lachlan Okio, 13th. Scott Griffith, 14th. Josh Micklemore, 15th. Daniel Beckinsale, 16th. 17th for Troy Davidson. Bruce Barnes is in 18th. 19th for Stephen Williams. It doesn't sound like a good thing, but that worked out very well for Stevie Dubb because he would have lost a lot more positions if he had to stop under green. So that worked out very well for Stevie Dubb, and he's on those nice fresh tyres. So that is not a terrible thing for him, for damage control at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the thing you have to watch out for now on this restart on those slightly worn tyres, it's not going to be a problem on really for these guys, but when you've got slightly worn tyres, it can spin up a little bit and you have to be a little bit careful. Obviously, they've not done too many laps. The biggest problem is going to be those guys that pitted. Those cold tyres can sometimes catch you out. You've not had much to get them warmed up. You don't have much time to warm up these tyres, of course. No tyre blankets in oval racing. So they are basically stone cold as they go on the car. You just hop on the brakes a little bit, try and get some temperature in them. But that can sometimes catch you out on the first lap, as we saw with Skirley. But we are going to be going back to green flag racing here at Auto Club Speedway.
So it'll be Ruben Phelps who'll control the field away here. Where's he going to go? Going to have 33 left at the end of this one. Smoking truck in pit lane there, as you can see, but the drivers will bring us around. We're going to go green any tick of the clock. And there he goes, off and racing again. It is Phelps who takes us away. That's not going to help us that view whatsoever. And Phelps gets a good start. Andrew Dyson heads to the high side with Danny G behind him. Tim Weston, a good run from him up into 4th position now. Matty Ray up a whopping 31 positions. So doing a very good job of it as well. As you would expect, a huge sway. The cars in the background there running 4 wide, trying to sort things out in the back of the pack. Just noticed there, Luke Hare all the way back down the field in 22nd. That round of stops did not help him at all. So
making a move for the lady uses a little bit of slingshot. We've got a car around in the background. I think, trying to see who that was. I think that might have been Maddie Hunter around in the background. It was indeed. No caution though.
No caution at all. So
it looks like his back end just stepped out. Unfortunately, just got caught out there for Matty Hunter. So he's going to limp it around to probably get back in the pit lane. But Dyson has managed to take the lead over Phelps. So Ruben Phelps is just going to drop in behind him at the moment. Those guys on the older tyres doing a good job just running away a little bit now. Jason Martin just caught up behind Tim Weston and trying his best to get up there. Dave Douglas running his way up there as well. Dave Douglas doing a good job of defending positions. He's going to try and keep that position as long as he can now. Ben Vickers has fallen back a little bit, but he is trying to gain those positions back. So remember, they're all on fresh tyres now, back from basically everybody behind Dave Douglas. So this is going to be interesting to see how this one goes. Watch out for Jason Martin, because he's going to be quick and he's going to be able to use a few different lines to some of those other drivers. Ryan Jones just tagging the wall a little bit there. Just getting a little bit caught up in the wall. Skirley trying to make a move on him right now as he gets caught up in the wall as they're a bit further back. We have got some great racing going on. You can see the cars all over the track at the moment. Ben Vickers just slicing down the track there, getting down on Scott Griffith. So trying to make a move. He gets just on the apron there. That could be dangerous. They're going to go 3 wide into the corner. Norman Clark on the outside, Vickers on the inside. Vickers on those nice fresh tyres though. It's going to help him out. Norman Clark on some slightly older tyres. You can see him just dropping back a little bit, unable to keep the truck quite as steady mid-corner. So those older tyres are starting to cost a couple of positions, but Andrew Dyson is checking out of the leaders. We've got a car around it. It looks like that might have been Kate Donnelly.
It was Kate Donnelly in the background there. That is our second caution of the evening. Donnelly and Priest, I believe, got involved together there. Let's go back and have a look.
Yeah, so once we get this one... big hit there for Donnelly, and one of the Nasari cars got very lucky not to get hit. Priest just got caught up in the wall there, so Priest just tagged the wall and caught Donnelly there. So just a slight love tap on Donnelly, and that really caught him out. So big accident. And sorry, that was Kurt Ingleson, in the Kodak film entry there, not one of the Atari cars. Sorry, a very similar colour scheme. We love it when cars are very similar colours from a distance. It always makes our life easy. But this caution is going to help those guys that stayed out. So people like Dyson Phelps, Danny G, Danny Raymond, Dave Douglas, Tim Weston, they are going to be helped out by this caution because it's going to negate those fresher tyres a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. A good result for them, but not so much for Donnelly and Priest, who are out of this race. So again, do you gamble here? We've been green. We do. Answers my question straight away. To say we've been green for 11 laps on these tyres for our lead group, and they have all jumped into pit lane. So they're going to get the benefit if it stays green. 28 laps to go, be 25 or so by the time we finish this caution period. And what that does, Dave Douglas up into the lead with Tim Weston. But behind them, Jones, Martin Skurlock, etc., all pit on the last caution period. So they're on slightly fresher rubber. So how long?
Remember Dave didn't pit. So Dave's on some old rubber at the moment. Dave and Tim Weston both on some older tyres. Ryan Jones is the highest driver on fresher tyres at the moment. What this has done is it's lost track position for a lot of those guys. So all the way back, pretty much back to... sort of Ruben Phelps and Andrew Dyson dropped down to 16th position. So they've dropped all the way back to the mid-pack right here. Track position, they've lost a huge amount of places. They might have fresh tyres, but they're going to have to fight their way through the field. This is disastrous for those guys. This could be an absolutely... this could be the call that loses them the race, and this could be the thing that helps Dave Douglas. Ryan Jones, Jason Martin, Tim Weston. What a debut that would be for Weston. He is running up there in P2 at the moment, and he has got a lot of cars between himself and those guys on the fresh tyres. This is really good news for them because it effectively means that people like Ben Vickers and Andrew Dyson have to pass 13 cars now, and passing is not that easy on this track sometimes.
No, and as we've seen, I mean, you can just as quickly make up 6 or 7 positions as lose 10 on the rebound. So it's going to be a good challenge for them to try and make those positions back up. Of course, Dave Douglas will tell us he was saving fuel for this very moment during the first part of his stint. So he's back out in the lead here in the 199. What a resurgence this would be if he could end up holding out to take out the win, but he's got a number of hungry drivers behind him. And as you say, great effort there from Tim Weston. Ryan Jones up in third position as well, Jason Martin. So plenty of hardened timber around him to have a look at this. Ryan Jones just giving it the back of the 199 a little bit of a rub there, a little bit of gamesmanship. And Dave Douglas, we have to be careful there, Ryan. Dave might check himself back up there and just have a little bit of a tap on the radiator. So, interesting idea there from Ryan Jones.
Just getting a nice look at the rear end of Dave Douglas, a thing that many people like to do. It's a very famous rear end of that car, and it's one beloved by many people, of course. So enjoying Dave's rear end. Wow. One of the things that many of the ANZCAR drivers have gotten to do in the past.
Wow. I'm not sure I can touch any of what you just said. Is there something interesting on the back there? No, nothing interesting at all on the back of the 199 of Dave Douglas. So we'll leave that one well alone. Let's let that go through to the keeper, so they say. But the truck's ducked down into pit lane there. And it is going to be Dave Douglas who's going to take us away. And he drops the hammer straight away. No joking around at all. And gets away in the 199. Minimises the wheel spin. Ryan Jones got caught out a little bit there. Tim Weston's made a good restart. He's got Jason Martin right up his clacker. And so they're going to keep going at it around the outside. They should get a better run off the corner here. It looks like they're susceptible to Skurlock and Micklemore. Skurlock's got the move done there as well. So maybe just not quite have the grip to get that move done, and that's benefited Jones, Skurlock, and Weston's just dropping back a little bit here. Josh Micklemore down on the inside. He makes the move up as well. So Weston getting hung out to dry a little bit here. You can see him just getting all loose there as well in those on those colder tyres. And Lachlan Urquhart had to take evasive action there, get down on the inside. Oh, there's contact. Luke Trahair in the background has been caught up with, I believe,
Weston,
that was Weston, yeah. So damage there, and once again the truck comes out onto the track.
That was a big shame. Weston having a great run so far, but that was just unfortunate for him. So it looks like Luke was just got a really good run there, and then all of a sudden just clipped the back of Weston. So just a bit of a mistake there. And looks like Weston just got a bit loose as well. He just tagged the back of Jason Martin, actually. So Weston just got caught up with Jason Martin a little bit. Those two made contact. That checked him up, and Luke had nowhere to go. Got caught up with Weston and then spun around. And then Ruben Phelps and Patton as well. Danny G, too, really caught up in that incident. A lot of cars getting caught up in that one. A lot of fast cars as well. A lot of the drivers that we've seen setting some good lap pace this race are really caught up in that one. You can see here on board just that big tap, and yeah, just nowhere to go in that situation.
Yeah, that was on board there with Danny G. So a handful of cars there that are going to be out with blown motors, and that's part of the risk, I guess, of taking that pit stop. You get back down into the pack, and these things can happen. So Danny G running as high as second place, I believe it was, during the early part of the evening. So his race is now over. So cautions breeding cautions here. I've had 3 in a very short period of time. Again, is there the move on for Dave Douglas to jump down into pit lane? He's now got, I wouldn't think so. Still at this stage, the more cautions come out, the better it is for him.
Look, I think track position is going to be key here at the moment, and the fact these tyres haven't done too much, it's just going to help them out a little bit. Look, that incident was just unfortunate. It was just that little bit of contact, maybe tiny bit of inexperience showing there, and just not quite getting in the right place. We've seen Weston having a really good run and a really good debut, but unfortunately getting caught out there. As I said, just made contact with the back of Jason Martin, and that really checked him up, and then Luke had nowhere to go, unfortunately, and that was the result. So yeah, just one of those big moments. It looks like maybe Jason actually just drifted up into Weston. I'm just re-watching it again, and Weston really just was sitting in his line, and looks like Lachlan Urquhart and maybe Martin just got very close to each other. Martin just losing a little bit of aero and then just getting up into Weston. And that's what caused that accident there. So I think Weston was pretty much an innocent bystander. Party there. Yeah, unfortunately. So look, really good, strong showing on his first race there. But unfortunately, when you're racing in a pack that close, all it takes is a slight moment. You lose a little tiny bit of aero, and then all of a sudden the truck just goes up and out of control. And I think that's what caught Jason Martin out. Unusual to see Jason Martin making a little mistake like that, but I think it just looks like the aero just got off the car a little bit, and he just ran up the track, and that was it.
It can happen. Even the best make mistakes every now and again. It doesn't happen very often, though.
No, that's it. That's what separates the great drivers from the drivers like me.
So we're gonna do. Where are we? One more lap? No, we're half a lap away from getting green again here, and can't help but think that Might see some movement here from Andrew Dyson as he still has fresher product on the truck. It's basically brand new still because we only did 2 laps before that yellow flag there. In fact, not even a lap was completed. So there's plenty of time here for Dyson to make his way back up to the front of the field on the fresh rubber that he's got. And we'll see how he goes when we get back underway here. Dave got a good start last time. He's going to be looking to control the field here again and get a strong start away. Minimise the wheel spin from the truck and open up a gap as big as he can because he's going to need it. He's got to manage the fresher tyres coming through behind him.
Yeah, look, he's got a bit of a gap, but he's just got to be a little bit careful in this restart. He's holding him back, holding him back, holding him back. Gets a good jump there. Nice start from Double D. Dave Douglas gets a good leap there. Of course, that's not always the best thing because it does give a little bit of slipstreaming to the cars behind him, but Skurlock doing a nice job getting underneath at the moment, getting underneath Ryan Jones, and that's going to block him out a little bit. So watch out for Micklemore and Martin behind, the 2 Mitch Motorsport cars looking to try and get a good result tonight as well. They always like a strong start to their season, and we know that their drivers can do it as well. Troy Davidson as well, getting a good run on that restart on Lachlan Urquio at the moment. Scott Griffiths working his way up into 6th position now. He's done a good job working his way through the field, but the battle at the front is going to be a dicey one. Ryan Jones trying to hold off Josh Micklemore at the moment, trying to defend that position, and that's just going to be great news for Dave Douglas. Michael Skurlock just in front of him as well. He's going to want to try and catch Double D. Doesn't want Dave to get away from him here. He's going to want to try and keep right on the rear of Dave Douglas so he can keep putting the pressure on. But Ryan Jones is not going to be sitting back. He's going to be wanting to try and get this win as well. We know how much Ryan Jones enjoys racing and likes to push the car to the maximum.
I was just having a quick look back there as well. Andrew Dyson, highest runner on fresh product at lap 51 was his stop. He's making his way through relatively quickly, so he will be back up and battling at the front of this pack very, very soon. As we got real loose Scott Griffiths. Just
he manages to
catch
save
it.
that.
Wow, what a good catch.
Managed to save that. That was great job. Meanwhile, up the front, Douglas is having to defend against Skurley and Jones at the moment. Those 2 are really putting the pressure on. Ryan Jones getting a little bit wibbly through the corner, manages to hold it. Skurley just getting a little bit loose in the entry, getting a little bit tight on the exit, but manages to slide it up in front of Jones there. Nice job to keep Jones behind him. Good defence work and attacking from Skurley. He's both on the offensive and defensive at the moment. Can't quite defend it this time. Jones has got down the inside. He's going to try and make a move on both of them right here. He's got that inside line. He's got those slightly fresher tyres as well over Dave Douglas. He's going to try and hold that inside line. Oh, as they come up to a lapped car. Dave Douglas, lightning fast reactions there to get past Igor Burkic. That could have been a huge accident there.
Yeah, massive move from both of them there to get through that, and it meant that they were able to keep in front of Jones. In the background, Lachlan Urquio looks like he's putting the pressure on and has got the move done on Jason Martin, so he's moved up another place as well. Josh Micklemore currently just jogging on his spot at the moment in his own air. It's not necessarily a bad thing, as we have seen, so if he can close the gap, these guys at the front working hard, they're going to burn their tyres. And he could be in a good position here to get that Mitch Motorsport up onto the Motorsport entry up onto the top step.
Yeah, never count out Mitch Motorsport. Those guys can pull anything out of a hat when they need to. But at the moment, Dave Douglas is doing a great job defending that lead. He is really putting that car in the right position at the right time. But he has got fast charges of Skurlock and Jones. If I had 2 people behind me fighting for position, Skurley and Jones would not be ones I'd want to be defending against. They are both quick. They are both veterans. And they are both multiple race winners. They are not going to be easy to defend against, especially when you've got 18 laps remaining. You sort of glance up, you see how many laps you've got remaining, and having to fight these guys, you just go, oh, Christ, 18 more laps of this? I don't know if I want this. It's not really that fun anymore. But Dave Douglas doing a great job at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it'll help him a little bit with the tyres levelling out between them. There's a bit of damage on the right-hand rear corner of Michael Skurlock's 350 entry as well from earlier on in the race. We know that the same is the case with Ryan Jones. He's got some damage on the back as well of the 111. So how will that play into it? Down the inside there as well, Matty Ray's just jumped into the picture. He's up 27 positions. Riley Curtis up 28 behind him. So he's in this group behind that are battling away. They can work together here and catch up onto this lead pack. And of course, they're not going to have spent as much getting there. So, and that is happening. That gap is closing between our top 3 drivers and this next grouping of 4 or 5 cars. A number of their drivers having massive nights. Lachlan Urquio 20 positions up, Matty Ray 27, Riley Curtis 28, and Aaron Dillon in this pack as well 22 positions up. So as we just see here that Troy Davison, I should say, gets the move done on Jason Martin as well to move up another position.
Yeah, watch out for Aaron Dillon. He was having a big charge there, but he's just started to drop back a little bit. So he just had a few moments of really big charges and then just seems to have lost a little bit. Troy Davidson doing a good job. Matty Ray on the inside at the moment. Those cars too wide. Oh, they get very close to the wall. Managed to slot into each other there. So very, very close action there. Very tight towards the front of the pack. These guys are running so tight at the moment. You know, that there is less than a truck's width between them, and they still manage to find a way to slot them between those gaps. Great driving there from all of those guys. It's like parallel parking at 280 kilometers per hour. It's not an easy thing to do, but they manage it lap after lap, and great driving there, great awareness too. Dave Douglas still up at the front, still defending hard against the Welsh nibbler Scully, who is putting all the pressure on him at the moment. The man with the Welsh name behind him is Ryan Jones, of course. He is putting the pressure on Scully too. So they are really battling it out. Scully gets down on the inside. He's going to get a charge here on Dave Douglas. He's going to try and make the move. Can Skurlock get past Double D? He's going to try it in the 350. He's going to take that inside line. Will he have the grip to do it? He's got those fresher tyres. He's going to make it work. Will he get that slide up there? He looks like he's going to try it. Skurlock is going to get the lead of the race. Watch out for Josh Micklemore, who's got a good run on Ryan Jones at the moment. The top 4 are separated by less than a cigarette paper. This is some really tight racing here.
Yeah, and that group has closed up as well. So this lead pack has expanded out now. We've got everyone inside the top 10 basically in this group. So it is anyone's game here.
Dave has to check up. Dave having to check up. He got up to the wall. Those older tyres catching out Double D. Dave Douglas, and this is going to drop him back a huge amount of positions. Dave Douglas just dropped back from 2nd to 9th position. That was disastrous for him. Disastrous almost for the rest of the pack, because they had to check up a little bit.
Yeah, he got stuck up in the wall there. It did the right thing, held it up there. Most of the drivers, or all the drivers, managing to make their way around. As you can see, Jason Martin, Troy Davison punching around in the background there, as is Matty Raymond. So this race is not over by any stretch of the imagination. Michael Skurlock's opened up a 3/10 gap at the front of the field. Josh Micklemore's just quietly manoeuvred himself up inside the top 3, doing a great job. Good drive from him so far. Lachlan Urquio as well, don't rule him out. But it is Michael Skurlock checking out at the front of the field.
Yeah, Scully's got a nice little bit of a lead coming up on Gary Wellman. He's just dropping right down to the bottom of the line. Does not want to get involved in this battle at all. Nice awareness there from Wellman, who's a little bit down, unfortunately, due to some earlier incidents, but just keep it out there for the points. But Scully has got a nice lead of almost 3/10 of a second over Ryan Jones, who's got a very fast charge, and Josh Micklemore behind him. We know Micklemore is fast, and we know he likes to make those moves towards the end of the race. Watch out as well for his teammate Jason Martin. He's trying to get past Lachlan Urquio at the moment. Can't quite make it done. As Jones gets up into the wall. This is going to help out Micklemore quite a lot, and Matty Ray. Matty Ray gets underneath him there. Lachlan Urquio is going to get checked up a little bit behind Jones. Manages to get past him though. He's going to get caught up on the high side. Jason Martin as well up there. Martin is just going to have to ease off a little bit. This is going to cost him a little bit of time here. Help out Lachlan Urquio. Jones is going to try and battle for that position. Biggest person this is going to help out is going to be Matty Ray though. Matty Ray's going to get a good run on Josh Micklemore right now. Matty Ray is getting a fast charge in a very clean truck, as we always see from Matty Ray. He's kept that truck as clean as possible towards the end of this race, and is fast charging to the front right now. Matty Ray is also on some of the freshest tyres in the field. His tyres are around about 7 laps younger than the
there's
cars
a huge
around him.
incident in the background.
Huge wreck.
Troy Davison gone. I think Lachlan Urquio gone. In the background, caution period with 11 to go.
Huge accident there. Lachlan Urquio I saw caught up in that one as well. Looks like Riley Curtis as well. So Lachlan Urquio I think was caught up in the wall. Just trying to see exactly what happened there. So yeah, like... Lockie's just got caught up in the wall. He's lost a car, got up into the wall there. Riley Curtis just tried to avoid it and actually turned Troy Davidson around. Those three got caught up, and just a huge accident from that one. That was a big hit there. So lucky more drivers didn't get caught up in that one, but unfortunate. Lachlan Lucky having a great run up until that point, but just got caught up into that wall, got caught up on the marbles. That's something I wanted to mention a little bit earlier, of course. At this stage of the race, the marbles start becoming a problem up in the high line, and that has brought out the caution again, and we're going to see everybody in pit lane now. Who's going to gamble on right side only? Who's going to go for all four tyres? We're going to find out now.
Absolutely. There's going to be a couple of different strategies play out here. We'll keep an eye on pit lane at the moment. Is anyone going to stay out and run that strategy, see if they can just grab some extra positions by running the gamble? I don't think we will see that. Oh, someone's lost it into pit lane. Norm Clark there just does the old Days of Thunder and parks it backwards into the pit box. He won't be too happy about that. In fact, he's had to miss it altogether, and out he goes. He may end up with a drive-through from that one. So who is going to get out here? Who's going to do what? In fact, it's
Ben Vickers making up a lot of positions.
It's going to be Norman Clark who's going to be leading the race as a consequence of that. He'll probably have to make his way back through. But Skurlock and Ben Vickers, as you called it, Matty Ray as well, gets out in good time. Josh Micklemore, Ryan Jones. So not too much at play there. Ben Vickers, the biggest gainer, a 9-second stop. So he only took the right-hand side tyres on that car.
He did. Just going to say, I imagine all the drivers are going to be thinking, how the hell did Norman manage that pit stop? Has he been feeding his pit crew some special Bolivian powder or something to get them to change the tyres that fast? Norman Clark will be coming straight back in pit lane, I imagine, or he might keep it out there, but then just drop it down. So we'll see what happens from Norman Clark right now. He might just take a bit of a gamble, but I imagine he'll probably end up coming back down pit lane just to get those fresh tyres, because he's going to lose a lot of speed out there. So he might have to stick out because of the old iRacing rules, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens with Norman Clark here, because he might have to stick it out there, because otherwise he'll get a penalty. So this is one of the fun things about the iRacing rule book sometimes, is the pit lane is probably closed now, so Norman Clark is going to be leading the race once it goes back to green on those old tyres. I imagine we'll see him drop down and just drop down below the line once he gets across the start finish line, just so he doesn't get in the way, because he is on some very old tyres at the moment. But he will gain a point for leading the race and become another race leader as well. So
I was about to say, he's going to get a bonus point here for leading the race and be about our 8th different leader of the night so far. So all out of just the old loop-de-loop in pit lane.
Yeah, look, that's it. I mean, out of mistakes do come some benefits sometimes. Probably the biggest disadvantage this is going to give is Ben Vickers, Josh Micklemore, and Jason Martin on that low line. This is going to hurt them out quite a bit. So we'll have to see how this one goes for them, because that could really hurt them a fair bit. Michael Skurlock, Matty Ray, and Ryan Jones up on that high line. This could be very advantageous for them. So we'll see how this one goes on the restart. So this could be a very interesting restart here. And of course, Norman, he doesn't have to drop out. He can try this. He can try and win this race from here. He can see what he can do. We'll see what he does, though. As I said, I imagine we're going to see him sprint away, get across the line, and then drop down a little bit. But knowing Norman, he's not going to make it too easy for these guys. He gets a good start and does, in fact, lead away. Norman Clark in the lead for the race. Michael Skurlock going to try and take that high line. You can see the cars already getting it up there quite quickly. Josh Micklemore trying to get to that low line. He's going to get caught up a little bit behind Norman Clark. Right now, will he be able to get it up through past? Not quite. Gets blocked up a little bit. Oh, Norman has to go up high. That's going to catch up Matty Ray. Matty Ray just getting caught up behind Norman Clark right there. Norman trying his best to keep those positions. Going to be hard to do with those tyres. Matty Ray getting down on the inside. Meanwhile, Skurley has managed to get the lead right here. Oh, Matty Ray loses the rear end a little bit. He managed to catch that one. Big tank slapper, though. That's going to lose him some speed, and that's going to give Ryan Jones a position. Great save there from Matty Raymond. Jason Martin getting through, as well as Ben Vickers. Ben Vickers coming up the line. This is going to be a fantastic finish.
How close is it back in the pack here? And we've got Norm Clark on those ancient tyres. There's a huge slide there from Ryan Jones. Oh, it's
Clark. Clark up into Vickers.
Oh, wow.
I think actually that might have been Jason Martin up into Clark. So Jason Martin has gone up in Norman Clark there. So that slide job from Ryan Jones, losing that rear end, catches Jason Martin out. Jason Martin then goes up, just trying to avoid Ryan Jones, and tags Norman Clark, flings Norman Clark up into Ben Vickers. Big accident, and then poor Norman goes down and hits Maddie Ray. Maddie Ray getting T-boned in the side there, managing to keep the car somewhat straight, but a huge accident behind him. A lot of cars getting caught up in that.
Wow. Not even able to really unwrap that one any more than that. That's very, very unfortunate. Does mean I think we're going to have a green-white checker potentially.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. That sort of stemmed from Ryan Jones losing that rear end, and again Jason Martin getting caught up there, and he just got flung up into Norman Clark, and basically that's sort of what caused that wreck, sadly. And it was sort of one of those situations where Jason really not to blame there, Ryan not to blame, because that back end was stepping out and he managed to save it, but just one of those mitigating circumstances and unfortunate situations, and yeah, it really caught them out. Got a few cars coming into pit lane, I think more so for some repairs than anything else. Matty Ray coming in to get some repairs done. I imagine he's got quite a bit of damage to that car. Might even have a meatball on there, unfortunately. Disaster for Matty Raymond there. That was a real shame from a very strong drive. Was up some 30-odd positions towards the end there.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Just means we've got the familiar suspects at the front here. It's Mitch Motorsport. Second and third behind Michael Skurlock, currently running in first. It is going to be a green-white checker, I believe. We should be seeing that come up. So it's going to be a sprint to the finish. Who does this help out the most from here? Really, Steve Williams is going to get a good run. Ryan Jones could have an opportunity as well. Those drivers that sort of got those poor restarts. Obviously, Jones, you were just talking about there with that slide early on in the lap that caused that check up. So he'll be happy to try and put it all on the line here and maybe try and get or snatch a win.
I would watch out for Riley Curtis. He might not win it, but I think Riley's going to charge up there and try and get a few good positions. So Riley's been quick all night. He has been working it up there. He's gained 30 positions so far as well. Also, big shout out to Brent Hobbs as well, doing a great job for the new team. Really doing a fantastic job of getting it out there and actually getting up some good positions for this evening. So really well done for him in the Sim Sports car.
Yeah, absolutely. So a good debut for that team in the series. Of course, Hobbs has run with us before.
Yeah, Jamie Budd doing well. He's still on the lead lap. He's got a little bit of damage. He's down there in 19th position at the moment, but has gained positions and has gained experience in the race, importantly. So doing a good job out there. And a top 20 finish is not a bad thing to have. You know, top 20 finishes in ANZCAR. You know, generally when you say a top 20 finish, you sort of think, well, that's not great. But when you're running 40-odd cars, it is a fantastic achievement to have. So, side by side at the moment, the cars are going to link up again. Skirley is going to lead away. Josh Micklemore in the 31 is on the outside. What did we say earlier on? Watch out for Micklemore. He's going to work his way up there. Jason Martin has worked his way up just behind Skirley. Stevie Dubb up in fourth at the moment. This is going to be a fantastic restart. We're going to have 3 laps remaining. This is going to be an absolute shootout to the end.
Yeah, no, you can count on Micklemore always to make his way up to the front, even if he starts as far as last, which we don't see very often, but always going to make his way up to the front of the field. He's got his teammate Martin there to join him as well. So what will happen here? Skirley will be looking to get the best start away that he can. See if he can get here, make sure he doesn't get pushed out by the teammates who will race to the very end here.
It's the pace truck is going to peel in for the first race of Season 3 of the trucks here on FGM eCast. When's Scully going to drop the loud pedal? He drops it now, gets a good start there. Scully getting away, dropping Jason Martin a little bit and Josh Micklemore. Scully getting a really good restart there. Jason Martin just dropping away a little bit. This is giving Stevie Dubb a chance to get a good start. He's going to try and chop in front of Ryan Jones. Will he be able to get there? Jason Martin getting up behind his teammate there. The two Mitch cars working together. Dave Douglas trying to get his way up there now as well. They're going to go 3 wide a little bit further back. It's Jones, Dave Douglas and Stevie Williams there. 3 wide down the back straight as they come into the turn 3 and 4. Dave Douglas chops in front of Ryan Jones. Dave Douglas working his way up. Dave Douglas led a lot of laps earlier on. He's going to try and get back up there. But at the moment, Scully is very much in the lead. But he's got a fast charging Josh Micklemore behind him. The Mitch Motorsport cars are really putting the pressure on. Coming across the line. We've got 2 more laps to go. It is getting towards the taily end now. Micklemore getting a good run on the inside here. Micklemore going down underneath Skurlock, getting the move done. Will he be able to hold it? Scully should get a better run off the corner here. Will he be able to keep it down there? Scully trying his best to get the run off. He does indeed get a good run off. Micklemore's going to have the inside for turns 3 and 4 again. Will Micklemore be able to hold it down there? I think he will. Micklemore might get this position. Jason Martin trying to get into second here. Scully might drop a couple more spots right now.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to get the job done there. Josh Micklemore can, and Martin do it as well. Scully gets a little high in the wall, that manages to avoid the wall there, follows Micklemore down to the low line. He's going to try and use the draft here. He cuts out to the outside. He's not going to be able to get the job done this time around, but he's positioned the car reasonably well if he's got the tyre, which he does, to be able to keep that going. In the background, Stephen Williams has got over Dave Douglas as well, so he's moved up another position into 4th. So car exiting the pits there. This is it for Scully. He's got the drag race here down the back straight. As that looks like Andrew Dyson's gone around in the background. No caution period, so he's going to run green to the finish here. It's going to be a drag race across the line. Who's going to get the better run here? Can Josh close out on Scully? He does. Scully tries to move over to get it, but it is going to be Josh Micklemore who's going to take the win here. Gets across the line just in front. 5/100ths of a second over Michael Skurlock, with Jason Martin following up behind, followed by Steve Williams and Dave Douglas to round out our top 5. What a cracking start to Season 3 2021.
Gurley tried his best there to get that draft working. He all did it so close there at the end. There was nothing between those 2 cars. That was a photo finish, but Micklemore taking the win. First win of Season 3 of the trucks. Fantastic job. Daniel Beckinsale up there in P7 at the end. A really good, strong debut for him. Top of the debut drivers. 21 positions gained as well. One of the big gainers. 25 positions gained is the highest amount of gains, and that's for Riley Curtis and for Mick Taylor. Both of them doing a great... Brent Hobbs, 27 positions gained in 9th position. Great job for him. Great job for the debuting of that team. Jason Martin came home 3rd. Mitch Motorsport won 3 at the moment. Stevie Dubb managed 4th. 5th place for Dave Douglas. Good strong run at the end. We saw some trouble for him. Didn't quite have the race go for him as he wanted to, but was fast in qualifying. Ryan Jones ended up home in 6th. As I said, Beckinsale in 7th. 8th for Tristan Cock. Great result for him. Top 10 finish for Cock. That's something he's going to be super happy about. Brenton Hobbs doing a great job from 36th to 9th. Scott Griffiths comes home in 10th position. Matt Hunter came home just a tad back in 11th.
Well, we resume truck racing as not quite as we concluded it, but certainly close to as we concluded it. A whoppingly strong performance there from the Mitch Motorsport boys, and Josh Micklemore starts the season as he certainly would have wished. And Michael Skurlock won't be overly disappointed. Obviously would have preferred the win, but still coming away with a solid 2nd place with a very, very close finish there as well. And as you say, Jason Martin in 3rd. I am very, very impressed as well. Brent Hobbs, 27 places. That's huge. Mick Taylor. So a couple of the new entrants to the series having really strong debuts. As you say, Bruce Barnes up 17 positions as well. Kurt Ingwersen up 9 positions too. So plenty to sing about for those drivers coming out of this race tonight.
Yeah, and as I said, the newcomer Beckinsale as well. He managed the fastest lap of the race of 41.482. So some fresh blood in the series, setting some really good results out there. Great to see. And look, Tim Weston got got knocked out. Unfortunately, he was having a really strong run as well. So fresh blood in the series, taking it to some of these guys as well. And that's what we love to see. We love to see some newcomers come into the series, and we love to see them push some of the more veterans around a little bit, give them something to think about, and that's always good to see. But that was a fantastic race for the first race of the truck series. It's great to have it back, and boy, that was enjoyable.
Yeah, what a close one. Plenty to talk about as a consequence of that one. We'll get the top three drivers in for post-race chat in just a moment or two. Just waiting for Josh Micklemore to get out of his car, and as I say that, he does. So let's drag him into the booth tonight, Carl, and have a chat with the top three.
Absolutely. Season 3 of the trucks is back, and we have 3 fantastic drivers giving us some fantastic racing. We're going to start off with the third place man, Mr. Jason Martin. Congratulations on that P3 finish.
Hey, how's it going, mate? Yeah, thanks for that. That was an interesting race.
It was, wasn't it? It did not look that easy for you. You had to do a lot of passing, a lot of jostling for position, and a lot of work there.
The first half was pretty easy. I was liking that, but yeah, got pretty hectic in that last half.
We saw a couple of times where you just got caught out a little bit. I think it was the final caution or the caution before that, where Ryan Jones just lost it in front of you and just gave you a little tag up the track. And unfortunately, I think you caught Tim Weston. I think it might have been just tagging him a little bit. How sketchy was that situation from your point of view?
Yeah, I saw the guy getting loose in front of me, and if I kept going straight, I'm going to go straight into him, so I've got to try and squeeze up, but there's a car there not giving me any room, so I've got to try and move up to avoid it, though. So unfortunately, there was a little bit of a tap, and I got a little bit of damage on 2 occasions.
Yeah, it's not an easy position to be in when you're stuck in those choices. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't, aren't you, really?
You just got to try and hope they see what's going on and give you a bit more room.
We saw a few new drivers out there, a few new faces out there as well, especially taking it to you. How do you feel seeing some fresh blood in the series, especially taking it to the front?
Good fun. Makes it more interesting, and I'm sure it's better for the viewers as well.
Always fun to see. Obviously, we saw you running up towards the front at the beginning, and you did drop down a little bit towards the end there. Those pit stops and things like that, sort of choices for tyres, how hard was it to decide to come in or stay out? Were you sort of just, were you mulling it over quite a lot, and do you feel like you made the right choices?
Yeah, I think I made the right choices at the time. Track position was pretty important, but so were tyres. If it stayed green for more than 7-10 laps, it was going to be important. So I think I got them right, but yeah, just a couple of times I was in the wrong spot, wrong time.
No, you got caught out a little bit towards the end there a few times, but in the end you ended up in P3 towards the top step of the podium. Well, the bottom step of the podium, we should say. We don't really have podiums, but a strong finish for you for the start of season 3. Of course, I imagine you're going to be looking to try and do a little bit better than last year and try and get that next step up in the championship.
Let's hope so. I'm just having fun in this series. I don't really pay much attention to the points and that. I'm just here to have good fun and some good close racing, and yeah, I'll let the points sort themselves out.
We look forward to seeing some more racing from you, Jason. Congratulations on that P3 finish. As usual, shout-outs and things like that.
Well done, Josh, on the win. Got to thank BK Designs, all the Mitch Motorsports boys, and of course you guys for the broadcast.
You're always welcome. Congratulations on P3, Jason. I'm sure we'll see you back in the booth very shortly.
Cheers, mate. That was fun.
Next up, we will head to second place man by the skin of his teeth. He nearly made that P1. Michael Skurlock, congratulations on P2. That was some hard racing at the end.
Yeah, thanks, man. No, that was a ding dong, mate. That was a good battle. The whole race was pretty cool. Like the truck felt pretty good, nice and loose. So if it's loose at the start, then you can sort of work with a car for like the whole race rather than it getting super tight and all this. So whenever it's like that, it's normally good racing. I'm surprised there wasn't more yellows though, to be honest. So well done to everyone. There's a couple that sort of worked out for me. I would have liked that last one maybe not to come out, but doesn't matter. It was awesome fun. It was a good battle at the end with Josh there. It was nice and clean.
Yeah, we saw some fantastic battling from you, and a little bit of an unusual mistake early on in the race. I mean, we notice everything up here in the commentary booth, as always. Just a little bit of a tap into the wall. Did you get caught out a little bit on the colder tyres, or just caught out in general?
Bit of a wall banger, mate. There's sort of like a weird sort of lump, like a dip, I'd say, in 4. And early on, if you try and sort of go flat out through it, it really unsettles that rear, and then you got to try and counteract it. And because everyone's so close, I was feeling it going, and then I backed off, and then I couldn't just let the car settle too much because everyone would run into me. So I had to keep the power on a bit, and which took me too wide and sort of glanced that wall. But it was only a little one. Luckily, it didn't hurt too much. It's only like 4 seconds.
No, that's a good thing. I was going to say, did it affect you too much? But it doesn't sound like it at all. No, there were definitely a few cars with a little bit more damage to the front end than you that sort of that worked their way through the field as well. But looked like some really fun racing out there. Good to see, and you're looking forward to another series of the trucks.
Yeah, mate. Always just like doing anything, mate. Something to do, eh? You know what I mean? It's more fun than not doing it, so I'll do it.
Oh, look, if you bring us races like that, Skurly, we are always happy to have you having fun out there and doing something. Thank you for a great race, Skurly. And as usual, shout out and love to sponsors and people you'd like to say hello to.
Yeah, shout out to the Bandits. Old Murky had a bit of a shocker there. It's unlike him. Very unlike him. Locked On Lads and the Locked On iRacing podcast. FGM eCast for putting it on. All the fellow competitors out there. Like I said, everyone did pretty good, not to bring out yellows everywhere because it was loose. And yeah, you and Stewie, Carly.
You're always welcome, Mr. Scully, and I hear you're doing quite well in the old open wheeler in the Locked On car.
Oh yeah, mate, doing all right. It's good fun. You should try that, Carly. You'd like that one.
Yeah. Well, if I get let out of the commentary booth one day, I might give it a try. Congratulations, Skurly.
All right, see you. Thank you.
Next up, we will head to the race winner of Season 3 of the Trucks, Josh Micklemore. Congratulations on that victory.
Yeah, cheers, guys. It was an interesting finish there.
Definitely. You defended well. Did you feel like Skurly was going to get a little bit of draft and possibly get you back across the line there?
If I gave him the lines, you would have, but I sort of knew what I was going to do. I sort of anticipated what he was going to do, so I sort of countered that, which was good.
No, a very good defence there. Obviously, running a little bit of damage the whole race long. How did that affect you?
Yeah, so pretty much from lap 1 or so, I accidentally got in the back of Traher, I think, and got into the pits on lap 40 or whatever it was. I had about 20 seconds of damage, so a fair bit, and so I was having to, manage that all race. With all those pit stops, I may just fix a little bit of it, but the car's never 110%. But by the end of that race, I think pretty well the whole field had a certain amount of damage, so it was just a matter of who can stick it up there, really.
Yeah, look, you managed it well at the end. I mean, you looked like you had the speed despite the damage. It didn't look like it affected top speed too much for you.
Yeah, it was down the straights a little bit. The top 3 would get away from me a bit, but I just had to save the tyres a bit and just hope I could get back in the draft and catch up with them towards the end of the run, which was what sort of worked out there. When we had all those yellows, and then I just we had that battle at the end. So
No, it worked out well for you. Obviously, a little bit of trouble in qualifying tonight, or just didn't quite have the pace?
Yeah, I stuffed up qualifying. First lap I spun out, and the second lap was pretty messy. So didn't do it. Had a few things going on today, so didn't get as many laps in as I'd like to before the race. It's probably half the thing as well, but sort of managed to get it there in the end.
Look, if you qualify poorly but finish with a win, then it's not a bad night indeed, and that is what's happened for you tonight, Joshy. Congratulations on the win, and as usual, shout out and love to those around you.
Yeah, just little man Levi, who passed away today. I think he was there with me the last few laps, so cheers for that, buddy. Love you, mate. BK Designs, team sponsor, ANZCAR, FGM eCast, you guys for streaming, and the boys at Mitch Motorsports. Unfortunately, Daniel was doing really well tonight, but he unfortunately got involved in the wreck.
Yeah, it was sad to see there, but no, congratulations on the win, Josh, and look, keep well, and I hope we'll see you back in the booth relatively shortly.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers, guys.
Well, Stuart, another race under our belt, another week done. Trucks is back, and back with a bang.
Unbelievable. What a close race that was to finish this one out. So if we have the remainder of the season looking anything like that, we are in for an absolute stellar season 3 to get through. So looking forward to next week. As we said earlier on, we're back tomorrow night with the Oz Pro-Am Sim Series, and it is the wildcard round, the final wildcard round of Season 4 for them, and we've got the Radicals at Oran Park. It's going to be a hairy affair there. If we get our usual grid of 50 plus cars at Oran Park in those, it's going to be wild. So 7:45 here on FGM eCast, we'll be bringing that one to you, and then of course back 7:45 Wednesday night with the Thunder Series on the channel, along with the run in through the chase starting on Thursday night from 8 p.m. So don't miss out on those ones, Carl.
Yeah, of course, Darlington, and it's going to be the throwback round for the Cup Series, and Skirley is going to be desperate to get a win in that one, of course, because there is the final race for that wonderful prize of a nice sim rigs option for him. So he's going to be trying extra hard for that one. But we look forward to seeing you all back here on FGM eCast. So big thank you to everybody that joined us tonight as well. If you can give this channel a little like and subscribe, it does help an enormous amount, and share it around as well. The more people that know about us, the more it goes out, and the more we can bring you.
Absolutely. That's it for us from FGM eCast, your E-Place for Pace. We'll see you again tomorrow night. Carl with you and myself. Thanks very much for watching. We will see you then.